And when it comes to a time of celebration, look behind me and look at the people that are here to celebrate the Miles Davis exhibit. There's food, there's drinks, all to celebrate his legacy. When you first hear Feed the Future Innovation Lab, you'd assume that it's supposed to be at a specific location, like the vet school. That is right here behind me. But not necessarily. See, Dr. Lawrence specifically said that the Innovation Lab is used to conduct research through portfolio investments and activities. Now I'm going to step out of the frame here. Look at the destruction that has happened to this church. You can see that it has been torn apart by this tornado that swept through the city. You can close your door, lock it up, and seal it tight. The local residents and students are still going to have to figure out better ways to protect themselves. Look at how close in proximity this road is from this pothole. Now watch this car come by. Imagine if the car would have swerved into this hole, it would have not made a good scene. In order to reduce and reuse, here are the materials that Ryan was talking about. Now first I'm going to start with the hay straws. Now these are 100% biodegradable. Now this is the area where Greg Harper's papers will be located on the 4th floor of Mitchell Memorial Library. Students and faculty are able to use them whenever they desire. Students at the University of Delaware apparently like to party. That's according to the Princeton Review's annual ranking that says UD is now the #1 party school. In a recent press conference, Senator David Blount D. Jackson said if we want our young people to participate, we need to make our process better. He also said the current process resembles a poll tax that once was imposed to prevent African Americans from voting. It's a move that officials hope will ultimately save the state some money. Starting January 1st, most recipients can see a physician up to 16 times a year. That's an increase from the current limit of 12. That's the moment they pulled him out to safety. Police said Good Samaritans helped get the other passenger out. After the car hit a utility pole, everyone's expected to be okay. While we may be welcoming the fall season, we cannot forget, you guessed it, the flu. Along with it, Take 30's Courtney Alston has a few prevention tips that can help avoid catching the flu. The 7-day forecast is looking really nice for Thanksgiving travel. This wintry mix should be out of our area tomorrow, letting the sun peek through and warm things up. Now, if you thought you noticed people walking around campus as if they were looking for something important, that's because they were. Friday was True Maroon Trek scavenger hunt. One of the biggest in Northern California is now the 4th biggest blaze in the state's history. And now even more people are having to evacuate as flames close in on them. The opening of the MSU Community Garden provides new ways for students and faculty to be more green.
This garden has all types of new technologies that we're testing here. We're able to teach people how to plant, how to garden. So it's really about educating and then learning so that we can share the education with neighboring countries.
To help, students like Mary Allison Page continue to keep this garden up to par.
So each week I go to Fresh Foods and I collect green material, and then it's brought back to the garden and we mix it with brown material to make compost that is later used in the beds out here.
Now, with global hunger being a major issue in today's times, MSU leaders believe that this community garden will help make that change. To make this change, it all starts with one small root.
Yeah. Go over here.
Sorry, okay.
And now push the soil back in around where those roots are.
Mississippi State is a leader, and we're starting to teach students and faculty and community members how to be more green, and we're excited about that, and in turn we are impacting the world.
Community members were in shock when a tornado came through and damaged most of it.
It's devastating. It is.
Now I'm standing in front of the First Pentecostal Church, which is one out of the many of hundreds of buildings that has been affected by this natural disaster that happened this past Saturday in Columbus, Mississippi. Now I'm going to step out of the frame here. Look at the destruction that has happened to this church. You can see that it has been torn apart. Shondell Pace, a 4-year member of the church, described how much it meant to her.
Got a lot of memories in this church. I was baptized in this church. My son was baptized in this church. My other son was dedicated in this church. My sister and her husband go here. My mother goes here.
This is what she saw.
I just started seeing pieces of the church. I just knew it was. I don't even know if I ever realized that there was a tin roof, but I just knew.
The news came as a shock to local student Trevez Watford.
I just had like a bunch of messages from family members and my parents and stuff asking well, was I in the city or was I still over here and was I okay?
Trevez said he was raised here and that's why it hurts so much.
At one point I passed by these places almost every day of my life, and now to see that they're just basically destroyed or buildings have collapsed and homes that are, people are being forced out of their homes.
Community members will continue to come together in hopes of fixing what was broken.